Welcome to Surveying Codes. So, in the last lectures, we have started a new unit, that is measurement and errors. So, in the last lecture, lecture number 4, we have discussed the significant figure, like how we can round off the measurements and all we have discussed in details. So, this lecture number 5 here will be discussing about the errors in the measurement. So, as we already know that surveying is basically to prepare the maps or the plan of an entire region, right? So now to prepare the map or a plan of an entire region, so we have to take so many measurements on a field. We have to find it out angles, we have to find it out the distances, we have to find it out the elevations. So many measurements we have to take it on a field. So this measurement taking is a manual process, means human will go with the instrument and they will measure from one point to another point what is the length or what is the angle between two lines. All this look, all these things is done on a field. So while taking all these measurements, error will occur generally. That is, error is a very natural phenomenon and it will occur anyway. So our main objective is how we can quantify the errors, because whenever we take a measurement there will be error, definitely, whether it is big or it is small, but there will be error. So the main objective here would be, because in surveying, as we discussed, that we have to take a lot of measurements, means it will introduce a lot of errors. So in this lecture basically we'll be focusing on errors, how actually errors are incorporated in the surveying, and then how we can overcome the errors, or how we can quantify the errors, what are the different types of errors. All these things we'll be discussing in this lecture in details. So as we know that, for example, you are going into a site and this may be a site location, and you have 2 points. So this is one point and this is another point, and you are asked to find out what is the distance between these 2 points. So you have given maybe your total area may be 100 square kilometers, so you can understand. So that may be total entire length of this area is 10 kilometer by 10 kilometer, right? So this may be 10 kilometer total, and this may be also 10 kilometer. So this length you are finding out. So this point A to point B, what is the length or what is the distance, that we are finding out. That is our main objective. Now, for example, a particular point. So in that case, what will you do? So this may be approximately 3-4 kilometer long. So you can imagine this 2 point distance is almost 3-4 kilometer, 4 kilometer. They're long. So there will be definitely errors while we are making the distances. So you have given a tape or a chain, okay, to measure the distance between these 2 points. So you go into site and you find it out the distance using the tape. Basically you got the distance, for example, maybe 3.8 kilometers. So 3.8 kilometer, 81 kilometer, you have find it out, right? So person 1 went to site and he measured 3.1. Now person 2 went, and with the same instrument, if again he want to find it out, he may not get exactly 3.81. He may get 3.82 kilometer or 3.80. So that's what. So that introduces error actually. Even we use the precaution to measure the distance, still there will be errors in our measurements. Error will be introducing. So how to deal with that, that will be discussing in this lecture. So in case of repeated observations of any parameter, like this one, I meant repeated means every time you are measuring what is the length, what is the length, what is the length. Usually it has been found to have variations. So every time the measurement will have small variations. 3.81, maybe 3.811, next 3.815. So there will be definitely small variation in the measurements, however small in the resulting measurements. So moreover, there is nothing definite in the amount of variation, so you cannot tell that every time you measure the length, variation will be constant. So variation also changes, that sometimes variation is also random variation, means 3.181, then next will be 3.82, next will be 3.83 or 85. So there is no correlation between the variations also. So this is completely random in nature, depending on the person to person. The length will vary, even the weather also. When some person visiting, that time maybe very high wind speed was there, so because of that he got some error. In some case, in some other, once other person is finding out the distance, for him maybe because of rain and all, the humidity has increased, and maybe the tape length also little bit increased. So in that case also you will get different values. So depending on the environment, depending on the the skills of the surveyor, the variation will come. So the measurement usually differs from its true value. So we know, maybe for example, we know the true value is actually 3.9 kilometer. Okay, true value is 3.9 kilometer, but each person going with some other instrument and they're getting the different value, 3.81, 3.82, maybe someone get 3.5, 3.9, 3.8 point, 3.85, 3.89, but the true values sometimes always it will be differ. I mean, sometimes it will differ from the true values. So the difference between the measured and the true value is called error, right? Measurement error. So true value, as I mentioned, maybe the true value for this 2 point is 3.9 kilometer, but you got 3.81 kilometer. So the error is basically, you know, error is 3 point minus 0.09. So true value is 3.9 minus how much you got it. So this subtraction will give you what is the error. So the difference between the measured means what you have measured, 3.81, at the true value. So true value is 3.9 as I mentioned. So that will give you the measurement error. So thus if x is given measurement and xt, x suffix t basically is a true value, then what will be the error? So error will be how much you measured. X is you measured minus xt is the true value. So the error equal to measured value minus true value, you will get the error E. So if an estimated value of xt means is usually known and is denoted as x1. So xt is also denoted as x1, right? So same equation we just substituted with xt with x1. So same expression you can see. However, the correction in term of more popularly being used to define the magnitude of error but opposite in sign, therefore rearranging the equation. So basically correction means we have to correction will always we tell minus, this is the error. Okay, error we call it always minus. So correction you have to do it minus e1. So minus e1 is if you substitute you just get it x1. If you replace e1 value this one here, you will get x1 minus x, right? So the correction equal to true value minus measured value, in other words. So correction always we call it, see there are two parameters we have to understand. One is error. Error means how much error is occurred. So error will be measured value minus true value will be the error. And when we denote it, always we denote it correction as a minus of error. So this one is error means how much error you made. So correction will be always minus of error. So minus of error means it will be simply reversed. So you will get x1 minus x. So the correction will be equal to true value minus measured value. So the error is measured value minus true value, whereas correction is basically true value minus measured value. Please remember, this is very much important what we are discussing now. So now you understand that whenever we make some errors, we have to quantify it and we have to correct the value. So correction will be always true value or true measurement minus the measurement which we have done on a field. So now we have seen actually what is error and what is correction in the last slide. So now we'll see what is the source of error in the measurement. So how errors are introduced into the measurement. So there are basically three different types of errors may introduce in the surveying measurement. So first one is the natural error. What is natural error? As I mentioned, due to variation in the nature. For example, variation in wind speed. So maybe when you are surveying, the wind speed is 5 kilometer per hour, but when your friend is surveying that time maybe 50 kilometer per hour, because of high wind speed, always the people make some mistakes, small mistakes they have made. So variation of wind also is very important, because see, for example, if you want to measure the distance from this point, so this is one point to this point, you want to find out what is the distance between these 2 points. Okay, so you went by in the site with a tape. So you put tape from here to here, right? So something like the tape. So now if wind is very high, then what will happen? The tape may not be straight, so tape may be little bit swaggy in nature. So in that case, what will happen? The distance will increase, right? True value may be x, then because of heavy wind, the x may increase to 0.1, maybe increased. So that's why this error is introduced, because of heavy wind, or maybe due to temperature. The length of tape, steel tape, basically during the summertime steel gets expanded because of high temperature, right? So that's why if you are measuring with a steel tape, then what will happen during the summertime, the length of steel tape may increase little bit. So in that case, this also will introduce errors. So this is a natural error. Similarly, humidity. If the humidity in the environment is also high, reflection. If the gravity in some portion, the gravity you will be very high. In that case, that also will affect the measurement. Similarly, the magnetic field of Earth. Right. Sometimes we use compass for finding out the angles. Right. For what is the angle between this line? For example, if I consider this is a line, baseline. Now I want to find out what is the angle. So in that case, we place one compass. So compass will have north south, right? Two pole will be the north and south. So north will be always towards magnetic north, south will be towards magnetic south. Right. So based on this compass direction, basically we can measure how much it takes angle with the north degree, north direction. So if there is a change in the magnetic field, if there is a variation in the Earth's magnetic field, then what will happen? This compass will give wrong reading. So in that case, the error will introduce into the measurement. But these measurements, whatever we have discussed, these all errors occurs because of environmental variation, not our fault. It is because of environmental variation, like variation in wind. We can't do anything. Temperature, humidity, all these things will be there. Magnetic field of Earth. So that's why we call it, this type of errors are natural errors. Now the next type of error is instrumental error. Instrumental error means when we go to site, we use several instruments. For example, to find it out the distances, we use tape. Similarly, if we find it out angles, we use compass, right? Or maybe if you use something like elevation, what is the height of a building, in that case we use something called theodolite or dumpy level. All these many instruments we use. So these instruments are also sometimes very complex instrument, and that also, it is also may not be not perfect instrument, also will have some imperfection on it. When the construction instrument was making, that time also there may be some imperfection was there. So these also will introduce the additional error into our measurement. So this type of errors, we call it instrumental error. So first one is natural error, means because of nature, because of environment, the error introduced into our reading. Now the second part we discussed is instrumental error. Instrumental error means whatever instrument we are using, that also will be sometimes faulty. So in that case, this will introduce some extra error. So that we call it instrumental error. Now in the third type of error, we call it is the personal error. Like if a person is unskilled or he is new in surveying, in that case, the error from the limitations of the survey human sense, right? This is actually personal error, means like how we measure with our eye, right, with our sight, with our touch and the hearing, right? All these three parameters are required, right, while measuring a distance. So in that case also, while sensing the light or not touching, so on that also there may be small microsecond fraction delay will be there to capture all these parameters. So that also introduces the additional error into our measurement. So that error we call it personal error. So for example, if I because in surveying, basically this distance on a paper maybe it looks like few centimeters, but in real life, this small this distance will be something like in kilometers, maybe 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 kilometers. This distance we are measuring on a field. So you can imagine, so it is a very high distance, right? So in that case, sometimes so one person will be standing here and another person will be 1 kilometer or maybe 800 kilometers far, he will be standing here, and maybe he will shout, okay, now take measurement, something he will shout from this point, and he will take the measurement. Okay, so this is, so he will make some noise or make some sound, and he will hear that and he will take the measurement. So this hearing also, there may be some delay, there is some small microsecond delay will be there. So that also we may introduce the additional errors into our measurement. So this type of error we call it personal error. So now you understand source of error, means basically how the errors are introduced on a measurement. So first one is natural source, means because of variation in the temperature or humidity, reflection, gravity, all these things, this error occurs. Next one is instrumental error. Instrumental error, basically when we have malfunctioning instrumentation instruments, or that also improve, that adds the error in the final measurement. So that also we call it instrumental error. And last one is the personal error, right? Personal error is, arises from the limitation of human sense, like we of sight, touch and hearing, all these things. So these are the three classifications of errors. So now we'll see different types of errors. So there are basically three types of errors. First one is gross error, next one is systematic error, and this third one is the random error. So in the last slide we have seen the source of error, right? Source of error means that natural source, and second one we have seen the instrumental error, and the third one we have seen the personal error. So now this is the type of error, means how the errors, what are the different types of errors we already is introduced because of the source of error. So first one is the gross error, second one is systematic error, and third one is the random error. So we'll be discussing each error in details. Now, which one is the gross error? So gross error is also known as blunders or the mistakes, are results from the carelessness on the part of observer while he is taking the recordings. Okay. So gross error is basically the mistakes of the observer. Those who is finding the taking the observations, he will sometimes use introduce this gross error. So gross error may come fault in the equipment. If you have for example, fault in the equipment means uh, you are using a tape for measuring the distance. So this tape length is maybe 5 meter. So you are using 5 meter tape basically to measure the distance between 2 points. So this is the infile. You have to find out what is the distance between 2 points, and you are using this tape to find it out what is the distance at this point. So what we'll do, if during the summertime, maybe for example during the summertime, or maybe in general when this tape was manufactured on an industry, in that time only, this that length of the tape is not exactly 5 meter, then maybe there may be 5.01 meter. So there was fault in the instrument itself, and with this faulty instrument, if you measure, if you take the surveying, then what will happen? And in every reading basically the error will be introduced. Okay, error will be introduced in every reading. So that we call it gross error, and gross error basically is there may be a fault in the instrument, and that also may cause error into the final measurement. So adoption of wrong techniques, as we discussed that surveying is basically basically to prepare the map, right? So to prepare the map we use so many instruments for that, and some instrument be useful in some situations. So we have to take the proper techniques for the surveying of entire area. So if you sometimes take the wrong techniques, in that also may introduce some extra errors in the reading. Similarly, misinterpretation. So once we take the measurement on a site, and this measurement will be recorded on a survey book. So we have a survey book where basically all the measurements on site will be recorded, and then once survey is done from the entire area, the surveyor will go to office, and from the survey book basically they draw or they plot the entire area map, so based on the survey book measurements. So sometimes there will be misinterpretation from that, and this will additionally add the error in the surveying, surveying maps and all. So the blunder, the mistake results into large error, and thus easily can be detected by comparing the other type of errors. So what I mentioned, this gross error are actually the errors will be very high. If for example this a tape example I have given already, so this is the instrument error, right? So the original tape length is actually 5.01 meter, not the 5 meter, but we are thinking that this is a 5 meter tape, but originally it is 5.01 meter, right? With this step when you measure it, so in every measurement basically small length is increased, right? Because this is 5.01 originally. So whenever we take every measurement with this step from in the original line, so the errors will be simply adding in the every step. So at the end, so if we find out what is the distance between from this point to this point, so there will be huge change from the true value. So the error will be very high in the gross error, right? Because error always will be added up from each region, even if some human makes some errors, right? So the same person will make the error every time, right? The same time, same pattern of error he will make every time. So the error will be simply accommodated in every time, it is added in every time, and ultimately the final error will be very large. So this large error can easily be identified while comparing the other methods, or will if you, so the surveyor, when they are experienced, by looking into the distance, they can approximately tell what could be the approximate length of this one. So if you systematically add some extra length in that, so the error will be very high. In that case, surveyor directly by comparing, or by from his experience basically he can tell that there is definitely an error, gross error you will have. So the maximum permissible error in observation is plus minus 3.29 s, where what is s? S is the standard deviation of the sample. So how much permissible error is there? That is plus minus 3.29 s. So how we got this value? For example, you want to find it out what is the length between these 2 points on a field, this point to this point, and you are using this tape basically to find it out. So first time you got total distance is 5 km. Using this tape basically you measured so many times, you understand. So total distance may be 5 km. Now, saying with the same tape, again you repeat the experiment. Repeat, you find out what is the distance now. So in the next time, the distance may be 5.001 kilometer. So it is little bit increased. Now in third reading, you have the 5.003. In the fifth time, you have 4.97 kilometer. So like that, multiple times you measure the distance, entire distance. So every time you get a different value, variations will be there, right? That is natural, it will be there. We discussed in the last slide also how the errors are introduced, what is the source of error in the measurement. So every time we measure the same length, basically the error will be in the variation will be different, right? So the maximum permissible error will be, so when we take the different observations and then we plot the histogram, you have studied in the mathematics course, basically we normally plot the histograms, something like that histogram you will see. This is a bull shape histogram, right? So basically we every measurement we take, and we plot the histogram means each measurement what is the height, each measurement what is the length, each measurement what is the length. So every measurement we take, maybe 100 measurement we have taken here, repeated as a measurement, and 100 plots we plotted. So the error, maximum permissible error, should be plus minus 3.29 into standard deviation. So from the statistics, basically we can find out what is the standard deviation of the entire 100 reading. So standard deviation multiplied by 3.29 will give you how much error, permissible error, can be allowed in the reading. Okay, and is used to separate mistakes or the blunders from the random error. So if any mistakes derived from the by the means of means by the more than the maximum permissible error, it is considered as a gross error and measurement will be rejected, right? So if the error is very high, like more than this value, then obviously the measurement is rejected and we have to again resurvey the entire region. So after mistakes have been detected and eliminated from the measurement, the remaining errors are usually classified as either systematic or the random error, depending on the characteristics of error. So as I mentioned in the last slide also, there are three types of error. First one is gross errors, second one is systematic error, and the third one is random error. So gross error now you understood because of this different regions or different possibilities the error will add, and that we call it gross error. Now in the next error is the systematic error. So systematic error occurs according to a system. Okay, so in systematic way, basically the systematic error is occurring. So these errors follows a definite pattern, right? Systematic error means every time you make a small mistake, and this mistake is a regular pattern, regular mistake. It follows a pattern, right? If some surveyor is there, he follows some kind of his mistakes. Another surveyor will follow another type of mistake. So person to person, this systematic error will vary, and it will follow a same pattern for it will follow a same different pattern for each person. So thus, if an experiment is repeated under the same condition, same pattern of systematic error will reoccur. Okay, so for example, if sometimes what happens, you want to find what is the distance between 2 points, right? So surveyor one went into a tape and he measured the distance is, for example, 4.7 kilometer. So the same surveyor again after 1 hour again he has taken the measurement. So he will get 4.71, maybe very similar to this earlier whatever he got it. So whatever mistakes he did earlier, the second time also he will do the same mistake. The mistake will reoccur and the values will be almost similar. But a third person, right, another surveyor, if you went and he measures the distance, he will get maybe 4.75 kilometer. Again, the second surveyor after 1 hour, again he remeasures, then distance will be 4.51, something very similar to that. So whatever second surveyor did mistake, so second time also he did the same mistake, because that type of mistake we call it systematic error. A systematic error will basically occur into the reading. So these errors are dependent on the observer. Okay, so this type of error will be dependent on the observer, means who is taking the measurement. Okay, and the instrument used, and the physical environment of the equipment. So any changes in one or more of the elements of the system will cause the change in the characteristic of systematic error. So the systematic error, now you understand that if the same survey, each surveyor will have a different pattern of doing the mistakes. So this mistakes we call it systematic error. So systematic error also is classified into two parts. One is cumulative error, and second one is compensative error. What is cumulative error? Cumulative error means, as I mentioned in the earlier example also, that if you have a wrong scale, for example, you are using a scale, basically this is a scale millimeter, a centimeter scale, for example, and with this scale basically you want to measure a distance on a field. Okay, so with this scale basically you want to measure what is the distance from this to this point in a field. So this instrument has maybe a small error, or this person always he mistakenly starts the counting from second number. That is his mistake, right? Not from the first first intersection, but from the second line he counts the scale. So in that case, every reading he is taking little less length, right? Because first one he is ignoring. So the error will be simply cumulative, means every reading error will be added, is not it? So first reading he took less distance, he took second reading also with same tape he did, and he took second less reading. So in the every reading the error is basically added. So in the first reading error added 1 millimeter, in the second reading again error added 1 millimeter, third reading 1 millimeter, like that. Errors will be added 1 2 3 4, like that. Error will be added. So this type of error we call it cumulative error. And the second type of error we call it compensative error. Compensative error means, so that person who is doing the surveying, maybe he first time he takes one less, but from the second reading he takes one extra, for example. That is compensating error we call it. So first reading is positive, second reading is negative, first reading is positive, second reading is negative, like that he takes the error. So in that case error will be cancelled out, right? Positive error he has taken in first reading, second reading he got negative error, third reading he got positive error, fourth reading he got negative error. So this type of error we call it compensating error, means errors are compensated between the multiple readings. So these two types of error we understand now. Cumulative means in every reading error will be increased, whereas in compensative error, in every reading the error will be compensated from the earlier error. Okay, so the systematic errors are dealt with mathematically using the functional relationship or the model. So this type of errors is solved using, we use some mathematical functions or mathematical models, and this type of error we can remove from the measurement. Now the third type or the last type of error is basically the random error. So random error, after mistakes are eliminated from the sieve, systematic eliminated and systematic error are corrected. So we have seen three types of error, right? The first error was gross error. Gross error means we understand. So gross error will rectify it, will make the corrections in the field. Then second error we have seen is the systematic error. Systematic error also, we using some mathematical models we can reduce the systematic error. And the third type of error is the random error. So after mistakes are eliminated and the systematic error are corrected, a survey measurement is associated with random error only. So still, after you remove the gross error and the systematic error, still there will be errors in the measurement, and those errors are actually called random errors. So random errors normally will be, this type of error will be very small in nature. Now you understand gross error will be very large. Even the systematic error also, if it is cumulative then it will be large, whereas if it is compensative error then the error will be less. Similarly the random error normally it is very small and is equally liable to be plus or minus, thus compensating in nature. Okay, so random error also, what will happen, it sometimes it will be, in some reading it will be positive, some reading it will be negative, right? So that's why this is also compensation in nature, compensating error in nature. So random errors are unpredictable, so you cannot predict where the error happens. So it is completely unpredictable, and they cannot be evaluated or quantified exactly. So exactly you cannot tell that how much error you have taken. So it is very difficult to quantify also. So the random errors are very difficult to remove from the reading, and it may be there, but again the random error will be very small in the reading. So in this lecture what we have understood, we have seen the different types of errors. So how errors are introduced into our readings. We have seen the source of error. First one was, that systematically. Then we have seen the different types of errors also, right? So the first error, source of error, we have seen the natural source, means because of the environmental conditions errors is introduced into the measurement. In the second, we have seen the instrumental error. Sometimes our instrument will be faulty, in that case the error will be introduced. And the third time we have seen the personal error, means the we have the limitations in capturing the sound or touch or sight any object, so that also introduces a small error in the reading, that we call it personal error, right? So there are three sources of error, and then we have seen the types of error also. Very important, we have discussed three types of errors. First one is gross error, second one is systematic error, and third one is random error. So in this lecture we have just completed the error part. Thank you.